Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something really interesting, this idea of a national strategy that isn't static, fixed, but actually alive, constantly learning, constantly changing.
That's right.
We're focusing specifically on America's AI action plan.
hmm
And the big question we're tackling is, how is this strategy actually designed to keep the U.S. ahead in AI globally? What makes it this living strategy instead of just another policy document?
Yeah, that living part is key.
Exactly. So our goal here is that by the end of our chat, you, the listener, will really understand the, let's say, adaptive gears that keep this plan moving and effective. Because the field is changing so fast, right?
Incredibly fast.
We're going to dig into what makes it so dynamic.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's jump right in with that concept. Living strategy. What does that actually mean when we're talking about something as, well, as vital as a national AI plan, to have it be alive?
Well, it's fascinating because the sources stress that the entire structure, the whole architecture of America's AI action plan, is intentionally built as a living strategy.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. It's designed from the ground up for continuous adaptation, for evolution. And the key to making that work, the real mechanism, is what the plan calls its pivots.
Pivots. Okay, now that sounds like where the action is. That's how it adapts.
Precisely. These pivots are dynamic mechanisms built right into the fabric of the plan.
So what are these essential pivots? How do they let the plan, turn on a dime if needed?
There are two main ones highlighted. First, meta-temporal coordination,
Okay.
and second, continuous feedback loops. And it's really important to grasp that these aren't like occasional course correction.
Not just hitting reset sometimes.
No, exactly. They are built-in continuous processes. It's all about adaptive management embedded right into the system.
Okay, let's break that down. Meta-temporal coordination. It sounds pretty complex. The sources call it an intelligent management approach. Can you unpack that for us? What does it actually do?
Yeah, it does sound a bit academic, but think of it like this. It's sort of the plan's central intelligence. Its brain, maybe. It operates at a meta level, kind of overseeing the whole operation.
Right.
Its job is to constantly manage and align the shared understanding, the knowledge base, and the overall strategic goals across lots of different tasks. And these tasks involve both AI systems and human teams stretched out over time.
So it keeps everything pointing in the same direction even as things change.
Exactly. Its core function is ensuring systemic continuity, making sure goals remain consistent, that knowledge builds up rather than getting lost, and that all the different players, agencies, teams, even AI agents stay aligned.
That sounds crucial for long-term projects.
It is. It enables ongoing self-improvement and adaptation without losing track of earlier insights or the original objectives. Think of it like a really smart project manager who's constantly learning and adjusting the plan.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. How does it work with those three pillars you mentioned before? Innovation, infrastructure, diplomacy.
Great question. Meta-temporal coordination is what phases the tasks across those pillars. So innovation, infrastructure, and diplomacy security aren't siloed. They dynamically inform each other over time.
Can you give an example?
Sure. So early research breakthroughs in AI, that's the innovation pillar, might directly influence how we decide to build out, say, data centers or energy systems years later. That's infrastructure.
Okay.
And then the state of that infrastructure, maybe our semiconductor capacity, directly impacts our international strategy, things like export controls or alliances. That's the diplomacy and security pillar. It connects the dots across time.
That's interesting. It links near-term discoveries to long-term build-outs and strategic positioning.
Precisely. And you can even think of the pillars like different cognitive stages. Innovation is like the early thinking, the experimentation, AI research, open source models, testing things in sandboxes.
The R&D phase?
Kind of. Then infrastructure is the execution, the long-term building data centers, power grids, chip manufacturing, getting things done.
Right.
And finally, international diplomacy and security is the strategic overview, the adjustment layer, managing alliances, controlling exports, looking at national security risks. Meta-temporal coordination ensures all these layers work together coherently over the multi-year rollout of the plan.
Okay, so that coordination provides the big picture, the long-term coherence. But what about adapting more quickly? Like when something unexpected happens, that rubber meets the road adaptation.
That sounds like the feedback loops. Is that right?
You got it. That's exactly where the continuous feedback loops come in. They are the fundamental mechanisms that let federal agencies actually adjust their policies and roles based on what's happening on the ground.
Based on real results. Real results, real-world outcomes, fresh insights. This feedback comes from various sources, things like workforce data, security assessments, new technological breakthroughs.
Can you give us a concrete example of a feedback loop in action?
Absolutely. A really prime example mentioned is the collaboration between the Department of Labor, the DUAL, and NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology.
Okay, DeWol and NIST.
Yeah. Think of their interaction not as a one-off project, but as a continuous cycle. They're constantly monitoring, analyzing, and then adapting strategies related to AI and cybersecurity.
How does that work specifically?
Well, NIST, for instance, is tasked with evaluating the latest AI models, frontier models, in real time. They look for biases, security risks, potential harms.
Okay.
And their findings aren't just filed away, they're fed immediately back into the policymaking process and the security frameworks. This allows for, ongoing refinement, quick pivots, and security protocols if a new threat emerges.
So NIST finds something, policy adapts.
Pretty much, yeah. And at the same time, you've got the DO working closely with NIST. Based on NIST's findings about AI capabilities, and importantly, data on how AI is actually impacting jobs and skills.
Ah, the workforce angle.
Exactly. The DO dynamically tailors workforce development programs, training initiatives. If AI starts demanding new skills or displacing certain jobs, the DL can pivot education and training efforts relatively quickly based on that feedback.
So it's not just tech assessment, it's labor market adaptation too.
Right. And all sorts of data feed into this: labor statistics, studies on AI adoption rates in industries, even reports on security incidents. It all gets incorporated into policy tweaks, operational adjustments.
And this isn't just within DEAL or NIST.
No, that's the critical part. This feedback loop helps synchronize actions across different federal bodies. It enables coordinated pivots across the whole federal apparatus, not just within one agency.
That's what's really fascinating here. It's not just one agency refining its own little piece, but coordinating shifts across the entire government. That sounds incredibly complex to actually pull off, though. What are some potential friction points, even with this design?
That's a very fair question. It is complex. The architecture itself is built on the idea that multiple agencies have dynamically evolving roles. OSTP is meant to clear regulatory hurdles. Commerce, via NIST, sets standards. DO handles the workforce. DoD assesses military AI tools.
Lots of
players.
Yeah.
The design relies on that constant information flow through the feedback loops we discussed, and the meta-temporal coordination, keeping the big picture in view to allow each agency to pivot its specific tasks and strategies when needed. The challenge is always ensuring that information does flow effectively and that agencies can respond flexibly. It relies more on an interconnected ecosystem than rigid top-down commands.
An ecosystem approach?
Sort of, yes. So just to bring it all back together, these pivots aren't just decisions made now and then.
Right.
They are these built-in continuous processes of adaptive management. They're driven by that big picture meta-temporal coordination and the immediate real-time feedback loops. That's what makes the plan a genuine living strategy.
So it can maintain that adaptability over the long haul.
That's the design, yes. Sustained adaptability over extended timelines.
Okay. So wrapping this up for our listeners, what's the key takeaway here? What does this all mean for you listening?
Well, I think it means that when you hear about the U.S. AI strategy, understand that it's not just a static report.
Right. It's not set it and forget it.
Definitely not. Behind the headlines, there's this attempt to build a really sophisticated, self-correcting system. It's trying to navigate the incredibly fast-paced world of AI, aiming to keep the U.S. competitive and secure. It's a dynamic, hopefully intelligent system in action.
A system designed to learn and adapt on the fly. Which leads to a final thought, maybe something for you to consider. Given how quickly AI changes everything, what other big national challenges or strategies out there might benefit from this kind of living strategy approach? Using constant adaptation through coordination and feedback, instead of relying on plans that might be outdated almost as soon as they're written.
That's a really potent question for the future, isn't it?